because we know that to serve in government is a special privilege and we do not take it for granted. That's why Anthony spent the first Monday of this campaign right here in Western Australia, his 30th visit in just 3 years, talking about his plans to strengthen hospitals and Medicare. Peter Dutton, well, he spent the first Monday somewhere else, talking about something else. And he was on radio telling everyone that when he becomes Prime Minister, he really wants to live in a mansion on Sydney Harbour, which, remember, is exactly where he was at a Liberal fundraiser when a cyclone was barrelling towards his home state of Queensland. Anthony was actually there in Brisbane with Defence Force personnel serving the community. Peter Dutton was on Sydney Harbour serving himself. And on that first Monday of the campaign, Albo was right here, delivering for WA, while Peter Dutton was dreaming of his new digs. Now, I think that sums up the difference in character between these two men. Anthony Albanese, who understands the power of his office and how he can use it to help Australians, and Peter Dutton, thinking about the perks of the office and what he can do with it to help himself. Now, you might think that starting an election campaign by announcing which mansion you'd prefer to live in is the height of arrogance. And you might also think that doing it in the very same week you're ending working from home is just so out of touch. And to be sure, you'd be right. But this is Peter Dutton. It's the same attitude he had when he was Tony Abbott's Health Minister in the last Liberal government. That is the one job he's had in his life that he conveniently forgets to mention on the campaign trail. But we have not forgotten, and Australians have not forgotten. They have not forgotten how he tried to cut $50 billion from public hospitals and bring in a GP tax, or how he froze the Medicare rebate, pushed bulk billing rates off a cliff and brought Medicare to its knees. That's why doctors voted him the worst health minister in 40 years. And when Peter Dutton made those cuts, they had real consequences for millions of Australians. Every time you went to the GP, every time your Medicare card covered a little less of the bill, you were paying the cost of Peter Dutton. But Peter Dutton as Health Minister will look like a fairy tale compared to Peter Dutton as Prime Minister. And he's even boasted about his plans to perform, in his words, economic surgery on the country. Think about that. Dr. Dutton's economic surgery. That definitely sounds painful, and there ain't no way that's not going to hurt. Because there's only one procedure that Dr. Dutton knows how to perform: cuts and more cuts. Medicare, Dutton will cut it. Schools funding, Dutton will cut it. Energy bill relief, Dutton will cut it. TAFE, Dutton will cut it. New housing, Dutton will cut it. Jobs and wages, Dutton will cut it. In every part of government, in every part of life, in every part of our country, Dutton will cut and Australians will pay. And why does Peter Dutton need to cut? Why will Peter Dutton make you pay? So he can spend $600 billion on his precious pet project, a nuclear power scheme, which will take too long to finish, cost too much to build and won't deliver enough energy. But it will most certainly increase your power bills. A nuclear power scheme using the most expensive form of energy there is, according to the CSIRO. I mean, literally every expert in the country has told him he's wrong, but he's just too stubborn to listen. And that $600 billion, well, that's money that has to come from somewhere. He has been far too busy taking his cues from other countries, from cuts and culture wars that have no place here. And he's been caught out this campaign trying to copy and paste policies from overseas to try and win an election here in Australia. In these uncertain times, we need leadership that is considered, not chaotic, reliable, not reckless. Anthony Albanese is providing the leadership Australia needs right now, and Peter Dutton could not be more different. And whether it's his nuclear power scheme or his deep cuts to health and education to pay for it, or his plans for mass sackings, or his promise of higher taxes, or his working from home ban, Peter Dutton is just too out of touch and too untrustworthy, too arrogant and too extreme, too reckless and too risky to be the Prime Minister of our great country. And so, friends, that means that we have just 20 critical days to stop him and his cuts and to keep building a better future for the best country in the world. An Australian future where we stand up for our own values, not the Americanisation of our health system.